Today we have a very, very brief poem, a short poem indeed, from Robert Frost that includes one of my favorite sort of nerdy ironies, but is on its own a poem worth going over. It is known as Nothing Gold Can Stay by Robert Frost, and it reads as such. Nature's first green is gold, her hardest hue to hold, her early leafs a flower, but only so an hour. Then leaf subsides to leaf, so Eden sank to grief. So dawn goes down to day, nothing gold can stay. Brief poem, so I'll read it through one more time. Nature's first green is gold, her hardest hue to hold. Her early leafs a flower, but only so an hour. Then leaf subsides to leaf, so Eden sank to grief. So dawn goes down to day, nothing gold can stay. So, looking at this poem, may be worth going over line by line exactly what it is we're talking about, because Robert Frost, though he's not precisely obfuscating anything here, and there's nothing difficult with the word choice, the diction involved, the syntax, the context, these sorts of things could be a bit off-putting. Nature's first green is gold. Early spring buds, which are green, are the real gold. All of the young plant life in the spring, nature's first green after the winter, that is what is gold. And it's the hardest hue for these things to hold. They won't stay these young buds for long. Her early leaves of flower. Leaf blossoms are themselves as good as flowers, so that we get foliage from the trees. But it's only, those buds are only good an hour. Those leaf buds are not good for long. Then leaf subsides to leaf. All too soon, the leaves fall. So Eden sank to grief. The same way those leaves fall to the ground, the same way that humankind fell in Eden by temptation. So dawn goes down today. In the same way that those leaves fall, and the same way that humankind fell in Eden, so too does the morning die into the day, stating that the morning, much like the spring, is the good time, the youthful part of the day, like the youthful part of the year, like the youthful part of life. Nothing gold can stay, nothing stays young forever. So the sort of nerdy little irony here, gold here is used to be synonymous with youth. And we'll get back to that a little bit later, but just to get to this irony, gold here is used to symbolize youth, used to symbolize that which is fresh, that which is new. Ironically, gold is a bit of a heavier element, meaning that it is one of the older elements. That's just funny to me, maybe. I don't know. But gold being used to represent youth. Nature's first green is gold. It's very easy to overlook this in a way that would be dismissive of the greater sort of idea behind the poem, and maybe rightfully so. It'd be easy to say, oh, well, how trite is that? Nature's first green is gold. Okay. Except that it is backed up a couple times in a couple different ways. We have here, nature's first green is gold, meaning that the buds of spring are the real gold. That's where the real currency is. It's a different type of phrase to say that younger is better, isn't it? The currency. What is currency? Currency is that which is to be exchanged. We exchange our youth for usefulness later in life. But Robert Frost here is contending that it is the youth itself which is the better part. Regardless of what you trade that youthfulness in for, the youth is better than that, because we get later that the buds turn into fallen leaves in the same way that what was youthful and innocent in the Garden of Eden is traded in for the fall of humankind. The fall of humankind. Humankind fell when we knew sin, and then we get this idea substantiated one more time. So dawn goes down to day, stating that dawn is more valuable, has more currency, has more gold, is worth more gold than the day itself. Now, there is, of course, the idea that we exchange our youth for usefulness. So all of the potentiality of life is nascent in the buds of spring, in the pre-fall man, in the morning light. But we also are forced to reconcile this on the larger scale. We have here the daily scale and the yearly scale. The daily scale, so dawn goes down to day, saying that the morning is the valuable part. Nature's first green is gold. That is taking things up to a yearly cycle. Spring is better than fall. Then we have super large Eden. In Eden, pre-fall is better than post-fall. The one scale that's sort of missing there is in between. It's not the day, it's not the year, and it's not the super long, the cataclysmic sort of speciesistic scale, but it's the life scale. The spring is roughly coordinated, if we're looking at things on a symbolic level, with childhood. Robert Frost here is arguing for spring. Robert Frost here is arguing for morning. Robert Frost here is arguing for the youth, for the innocence of pre-fall man, the youth and innocence of childhood. That is what we are having here, simply with the childhood, lifelong portion of the argument left out. Is there a reason to leave out the lifelong argument? Well, maybe. When you think of Robert Frost, if you have an image in your mind of Robert Frost, what image is it? Is it of a youthful poet? Or is it of an older man? I don't know of anyone who probably thinks of Robert Frost as a 20-year-old. What if that blind spot for this poem is simply our author admitting that he is in the wrong stage of life. I believe this is one of Robert Frost's earlier poems, but perhaps foreshadowing. But for our speaker may be coming to us from a later stage in life. That is all I have for this poetry discussion. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other literature lovers. If you find yourself here by chance but not design, literature is the only thing I talk about on this channel, dropping multiple videos every single week, and I hope to have you back for the next one.